Today, we are hopping into a time machine and traveling 100 million years into the past to the ancient world of the Eromanga Sea, a massive ancient ocean that once covered the entire heart of Australia. We're talking about a time when dinosaurs ruled the land and sea monsters owned the waters. Hold on tight because this is going to be an interesting ride. Australia today, beautiful but deadly. First, let's talk about modern Australia. It's one of the most beautiful places on Earth. You've got endless red deserts, ancient mountains, turquoise beaches, and lush rainforests up north. It's also an evolution paradise. Animals here evolved separately from those elsewhere. That's why you get weird stuff like kangaroos, platypuses, and emus that can't even fly. But here's the catch. Australia is basically a warehouse of the world's most dangerous animals. Giant saltwater crocodiles lurk in rivers, countless venomous snakes and spiders whose bite can drop you in minutes, sharks that can take your arm off in one bite, box jellyfish that can kill you before you even make it back to shore. Despite having way fewer people than the United States and one of the best healthcare systems in the world, Australia has way more animal-related deaths. So if you ever visit, watch every step you take and think twice before jumping in any body of water. But get this, modern Australia is nothing compared to what it used to be. The further back you go in time, the more dangerous everything becomes. And 100 million years ago, that was a completely different world. The ancient world, 100 million years ago. Rewind time to over 100 million years ago. The world map looked nothing like today. Australia wasn't floating alone in the South Pacific. It was still connected to Antarctica as part of a giant supercontinent called Gondwana. The world back then was way warmer, with no ice at the poles or massive deserts covering Australia's center. Instead, imagine a warm blanket spread across the entire planet. More rain everywhere, forests stretching for thousands of miles, plants and animals are thriving like crazy. Northern Australia was closer to the equator, so it got hammered with heat and sunlight year-round. The southern part stretched toward what's now Antarctica, but even that area wasn't cold. Antarctica back then was a lush green forest with a variety of ecosystems, not the ice-cold continent it is today. Pretty wild to think about, right? Australia stretched across so many different latitudes that it had an amazing climate mix. Hot and humid up north, warm in the center, cool but not freezing down south. And here's the kicker. Global sea levels were very high, way higher than today, and that opened the door for something massive to happen. The birth of an inland sea. Because of slow tectonic movements, the land beneath Australia developed huge basins. Think of them as giant natural bowls sitting deep in the continent. As global sea levels rose, water from the ancient Tethys Sea in the north and from southern ocean basins started pouring in. Slowly, over thousands and thousands of years, these basins filled up. A massive inland sea formed right in the heart of Australia. This was the Eromanga Sea. This sea was absolutely huge. It covered nearly all of central and northern Australia, millions of square kilometers underwater. It stretched from Queensland down to South Australia, spreading into the Northern Territory and parts of New South Wales. At its biggest, it was about half the size of Europe. Let that sink in. Here's what made it special. The Eromanga Sea wasn't as deep as the Atlantic or Pacific. It was shallow. Most areas were only 30 to 200 meters deep, and that shallow depth was perfect for creating an explosion of ancient life. From above, ancient Australia looked like it had been split into a bunch of big and small islands with this gigantic marine lake sitting in the middle. Places that are now bone-dry Outback were completely submerged. The Queensland Plains, the Cooper Basin, all of it underwater. A shallow paradise for predators. Despite being enormous, the Eromanga Sea was really shallow, and shallow, warm water means sunlight can penetrate all the way down. That triggers massive growth of algae, plankton, and surface organisms. All of that creates food, tons and tons of food, which means you can support massive animals. The climate was warm and stable, no frozen Antarctica or harsh winters. The sea stayed warm year-round. The ocean winds blew far inland, rain fell steadily, and the coastlines were incredibly fertile. The water surface looked calm because it was protected deep inside the continent, no massive ocean waves crashing in. But don't let that fool you. Beneath that calm surface was absolute chaos, a violent world packed with relentless predators hunting 24/7.
Life in the ancient waters. Life back then wasn't anything like it is today. If you thought the present animals are scary, meet the megaraptors. These sleek, predatory dinosaurs would sprint across the mud hunting young titanosaurs. These weren't quick kills. Hunts could last hours or even days. The Eromanga coastline saw countless brutal battles like this every single day. The skies were not left out. Flying reptiles with wingspans reaching 4, 5, or even 7 meters for the big ones dominated the skies back then. When they spotted movement in the water, fish or floating carcasses, they'd dive down, grab it with their claws, and jerk back up into the air. Smaller parasaurs lived near the coastal forests, hunting insects and small animals. One of the most terrifying predators was the crocodiles, 6 to 8 times heavier than modern saltwater crocodiles and 2 to 3 times longer. They'd lie completely still under the murky water, ready to hunt and take down any prey of the right size. The biggest crocs could even snatch parasaurs that got careless and landed on the water. They were living death traps at the water's edge. The coastal world. The coastal areas were insanely rich. Rivers brought nutrients from deep in the continent, creating ancient mangrove-like floodplains. The vegetation was thick. Ancient conifer trees were growing in massive patches. The warm temperatures and high humidity meant insects were everywhere. Small animals, medium-sized plant eaters are all attractive prey for the predators. Herds of small dinosaurs, probably ornithopods or iguanodonts, lived there as well, striving on the cycle of life. And in the water itself, marine reptiles, plesiosaurs with long necks and powerful flippers, ichthyosaurs that looked like dolphins but were reptiles, giant sea turtles, ancient sharks with teeth like razors. The Aeromanga Sea was absolutely packed with life. Every layer of water had something hunting and something being hunted. This wasn't some peaceful prehistoric paradise. This was a war zone. Survival of the fittest is playing out every single minute of every single day. So, what happened to this world? How could a world so lush vanish? The Disappearance.
Nothing lasts forever. Slowly, things started to change. The Australian continent began shifting. Tectonic plates moved. The land started rising. As it rose, the seawater got shallower and shallower. Large lagoons got cut off from the main sea and turned into isolated salty lakes. Rivers kept bringing sediment into the sea. Over thousands of years, that sediment filled the Eromanga Basin. The water got shallower. Eventually, the ancient seabeds started to show, first as muddy plains, then as cracked dry land baking under the sun. Global climate changed too. Ocean currents shifted. Temperatures in many regions dropped. Rainfall patterns changed. The lush coasts turned more arid, drier, harsher. The combination of dropping sea levels and rising continental land caused the Eromanga Sea to shrink faster than ever. Marine creatures, plesiosaurs, ichthyosaurs, giant turtles, ancient sharks, all gradually disappeared from the region. They were replaced by animals better suited to the new dry environment. After millions of years, the once massive inland ocean completely vanished. What was left? Soft sediments, fossils of countless creatures, and the basins we now call the Cooper Basin and Eromanga Basin. They now hold oil, gas, coal, and rock layers, the only evidence left of the Eromanga. The land that was underwater is now a red desert, arid plains, wide open skies with no trace of seawater anywhere. If a human with no scientific knowledge of prehistoric life stood there, they would never know it used to be a sea. That's a reminder of the constantly changing nature of life. Every phase will end one day. Modern Australia might have deadly snakes and crocs, but nothing compared to what lived there 100 million years ago, a reminder of the life that was before ours. Which creature from the Eromanga Sea would you least want to encounter? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this deep dive into ancient Australia, hit that like button and subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.